It's tomato season and I've got to get my tomatoes growing again. Hi, this is Robbie from Southern California. I don't know if you remember, a lot of you, but I set this up 2 years ago in the front of the bird garden on that end where I'm showing you now, where Zoe's running around. I had tomatoes and peppers and all kinds of stuff growing in there. Well, it got moved and we now have it all the way on the end just before you get into the rainbow garden. It was completely empty and I've been filling it with everything from around the garden. The excess water will drain to the back where the brassicas are. You know what? Let me explain to you everything that I did so maybe it will give you some ideas too. So I have it almost 3/4 full. Now this is just hard as a rock, came out of the bottom of a tote. It's all right, it will work its way in. Now what I'm gonna do is gonna collect some more soil, but I'm gonna do a lot of leaves because leaves break down like off this plant really, really fast. So I can load this up with leaves and then just top it with maybe 8 inches of soil and the plants will take off. It will all filter through the soil, all through all the branches and everything I threw in there. Paper towels, all that will break down beautiful. And I'll get it to maybe up to that rim. That's all the plants need to grow. They only use, depending on the plant, 6 to 10 inches. But the thing is, as they grow, they're going to find all the nutrients in there because this is going to break down immediately. And then the plants will take off. And it takes them time to establish their root system anyways if I'm putting in small tomatoes or whatever. So that's what I'm going to do here. Almost there. I'm almost there. I've been taking all the soil that I've collected from around the ground and putting it here. Look, there's still earthworms in here. Lots of earthworms through here. Now, if you see little green pieces like this, you know what that is? That came out of a lot of potting mix from years ago. I'm not sure how they do the plant food. See, it's there. A lot of times you'll buy potting soil or garden soil if they incorporated any plant food in there. They might be plastic. I don't know what they are, but they're supposed to dissolve and have plant food in them. There's not much you can do. It's there if you buy it. Sometimes you don't even notice it until it starts to break down, but it's fine. It's going to be in there. I'm going to continue to dump a lot of these in here, and then very soon I'm going to plant in here. That's it. So it's full of a bunch of branches and leaves and everything from this garden. And it's all in there. And then I don't know if I'll put any potting mix on the top or just leave it. If I do, it's literally going to be next to nothing. And it might only be where each plant is planted because this is all going to break down. The reason I'm putting some fresher leaves on the top is because of all the earthworms that are in here. They will eat that. Of course, I'm going to cover it with a little bit more soil. Here's another one. They're just all over in here because they're in these pots here. And you see the earthworms? There's earthworms there. So I got to get all this. This has got too many branches. I'll put that somewhere else. There's a good one. It must have come from the bottom of a tote. It's got a lot of eggshells in there. There's one full of water. I'll dump that one too. And then this will be ready to go. It's going to collapse because of all the branches, and that's fine. You just add to the top as it collapses. Okay, I'm going to keep working. Some of you are going to say, why is this video so long just to plant a tomato? Well, it's not about planting tomatoes. It's about planting anything. What I've done here is I'm collecting those pots that have been sitting all winter on the ground with no plants in it. Remember, I keep them damp because look, my soil is alive. Unlike opening a bag and finding nothing in there but whatever, my soil's got microbes and earthworms loaded in it because they come through the bottom. They find, oh, she's had kitchen scraps and stuff in here and leaves, so I'm going to come through the bottom holes, I'm going to crawl in there, and I'm going to live through the winter in there. Well, now I'm disturbing them, and I don't want them to leave. Look how many there are just sitting on the top here. That's because they found my flower pots. Now, this is what I'm going to do throughout this video. I'm going to give you tips. It doesn't have to be for tomatoes. It can be for cucumbers and watermelon and eggplant and whatever you want to grow. It will work. Look at this. My soil is alive, and that's what I absolutely love. Nature's soil is alive. Your soil can be alive too. And if you don't have earthworms, let me tell you something. They'll come or you can find some, but you'll have microbes. Now, with the flower pots sitting around, like I said, the earthworms came to the bottom. Now, this particular pot has a little bit smaller holes, and that's important to me, and I'll talk about that later. Now, I'm going to set this up completely different than what you thought. And this is how I do my gardening. I may tell you I'm going to plant directly in there, and then all of a sudden, while I'm planting, I change my mind. I'm going to work on 3 pots. Now, 2 pots will be for my plants, and yes, I am going to plant tomatoes in here. But the 3rd pot will not be. It's going to be loaded with whatever I want to load it with. It's really what I call is layering. I put pots on top, so this way the earthworms, microbes can come to the surface and sit under the pot. On top of that, when I water the extra pot, it will be feeding the live soil as well as the plants. So you'll see it will be a little different, with the plants, the ones that's going to have tomatoes growing in there. But the one in the center, that's got a lot of kitchen scraps in it. I'm not going to put anything in there right now. Who knows? I might change my mind. The other 2 pots are going to be elevated. It's like having a raised bed in a raised bed. That's exactly what I'm doing. It's going to give the tomato plants really good drainage, and I don't have to worry if the soil, that I put together underneath, the compost, is so full of matter and very little soil right now, because as the tomatoes are growing on the top, the bottom will be breaking down. By the time their roots grow through the holes, they're going to have the whole place to grow, but I'll be able to show the tomatoes the proper attention they need, in other words, watering. As you can see, even the pots where the tomatoes are growing, I put some kitchen scraps and leaves too, which gives my tomato plants some extra growing space as well. And on top of that, when I water my plants, the 2 tomato plants, I know they're going to get the water, because if the water created a river, it may leave the plant, and you're going around watering your plant thinking it's getting water, and it's not. I'm putting leaves around the top because I know how loaded it is with earthworms, and we don't want them to say, hey, there's not enough food here. I don't like our new house. We're leaving. I'm going to put the leaves there. I'm going to keep it watered, and I'll put some soil on the top. And then the earthworms will stay, because if the earthworms aren't happy, they won't stay. And I'm going to do another layering in the middle, and that is a Chinese forget-me-not. I pulled it out of the ground. I don't know if it's going to make it, and if it doesn't, I'll put something else there. And Gary's been doing a lot of chipping, so I'm going to use the chips and use that for mulch on the top and a pine cone. Why not? I'm sitting here admiring my work. No, I'm thinking I've got a cherry tomato, and there's 2 of them in the pot. So when I separate them, to put one there, because I'm going to put one in there and a sun gold. That's all I'm going to put in there. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put the other one. I'll probably just go ahead and put in a tote somewhere, because anywhere I've got a tote butted up against something, it just opens it up for, squirrels and stuff to eat it. When it's sitting out in the open like that, I already know how I'm going to tool it. It's going to be fantastic. Because here I have a problem with all my brassicas. You can see the leaves are eaten by birds. And then the occasional squirrels come in, and rabbits, and nibble around the bottom. But the rabbits cannot get in here. The squirrels can. But when I squirrel proof it, they won't be getting in here. I don't have to worry too much about birds, because the only birds that really... I shouldn't say that. I was going to say the only birds that eat tomatoes are mockingbirds, but other birds will too, especially if it gets open. Then the house finches and other birds will look and see the seeds, and they'll go for it. But mockingbirds will eat tomatoes. So what is happening here? The 2 pots on either end, they're going to have tomatoes in it. So the one to the right is going to have a tomato, and the one to the left is going to have a tomato. The ones in the center are going to have no plants in them at all. The middle pot you saw, I dumped a lot of kitchen scraps in there. That is going to be like a worm farm, a place for the worms to hang out, and a place for me to water. You saw that the holes on the bottom of that container are quite small. Now that means the water will trickle out slowly. If it had big holes like a flower pot or something, then it will just run. And I like the trickle idea. So it will stay damp in there, and then if the worms don't like it in there, they can just leave. They have the freedom to go under the pot, because when they're under the pot, they can move around under the soil, or to stay in the pot, and of course they'll go in and out of the tomato ones too. So it's more of a compost bucket in the middle. I could lift it up at any time and dump it if I wanted to, and then put all new fresh leaves, a little bit of soil on top. Because remember, the earthworms do not come to the surface, and they can't be in the sunlight or the air, or they dry out. But they like being at the surface where they're just barely covered and damp. Occasionally you'll see them crawling on rainy days because they're moving around. So they'll be able to go underneath that pot, and it'll be easy to move. The other 2 pots in there are just flowers. One is Chinese forget-me-nots that's on the top, And then the other one is pot marigold that I pulled out of the ground. It's one of my own seedlings, so we'll see if it makes it. But I can put geraniums, which I've got here, in there. I can put, I've got a lot of regular marigolds I can put in there. I can spot that in there. I kind of like the idea of getting some geranium cuttings and putting them in small pots around there. Small pots, again, give places for earthworms to move around. So there's a lot of things we can do. But the first thing I want to do is get my tomato plants planted now. And then I'm going to set it up with Tulle. So let's get the tomatoes planted. And then let's go ahead and rodent proof this thing. All right, let's get this done. So the two types of tomato plants I'm going to put in here are the sun golds. The tall one came off the deck. You probably saw me separate that a couple weeks ago. It was a little plant. And then the other one is just a 100s cherry tomatoes, which means they're really small. Now I'm going to put the sun gold in that pot to the left, not for any particular reason. And it's one plant. You saw me separate it. I've got two plants out of the one pot, worked out really good. I'm going to leave the flowers on the tomato plant. A lot of people say take it off. You want the plant to grow better. You know what? I don't. You do it if you want to. And if you notice here, I don't bury my plants like a lot of people do, like 6 inches underneath. They're going to grow plenty of roots. They always have. Tomatoes want to grow. Now this one I'm separating, and this one too was 2 plants. I'm going to take the small one, put it in a separate pot. I'm going to put the bigger one out here. I think it will just do better. And then the small one, I'll leave it in a small pot for whatever until I find where I'm going to plant it. Now I'm not using any potting mix here, though you can. I went around and collected a lot of old soil coming out of other totes and just mixed it all together, and that's what I'm going to use here to plant my tomatoes. And then the little one's just going to get its own pot, and I'll water it, take care of it. I'll probably leave a little water on the bottom, you know, put it in a saucer for a few days to make sure that it doesn't go into shock, since I just pulled it out and separated it with, you know, no kindness. Now I'm going to water everything really good. We're not done. We've got a lot going on here, but everybody gets a good drink, and that's about it. Now here comes the fun. Here comes my rope. Now a lot of you may know I work with different ways of attaching tulle, and rope has worked really well. Now I'm going to label my tomatoes right away because I always say I'm going to. I don't, and then I got to come back to you or look on my cameras to see what it was. So I'm using painter's tape. I'm marking it with pen, just a plain old pen, and I'm writing down sun golds and then the cherry tomatoes, the 100s. Now back to the rope. Now the rope is not going to be held on by painter's tape, but what it is going to do is give me my extra hand to hold on to the rope. Now, thank goodness this trough has that hump there. See the hump? There's one on the rim, and then there's one about 3 inches, 4 inches down. That's going to work for my benefit, believe you me. And if it wasn't there, I'd figure out another way. So I'm putting the rope there, and I'm going to tie it really tight. Now, it just so happens I got this at Dollar Tree for $1.25, but you can get rope really cheap at Walmart or Target or anywhere, your hardware store. Just look around. And here I'm going to cut it, and because I'm not using the whole thing, and then I'm going to have both ends where I can give it a good snug knot. I'm going to bring you over here so you can see closer what I'm doing. This rope is going to be a lifesaver. With the tulle that I get so cheap, less than $10 for 40 yards, 54 inches wide. Oh, and remember, I always put the link underneath in the description in my video so you can get some too. Now I'm tying the rope really tight. So this way, when the tape slips off, it's not going to go anywhere because of that hump in the trough. I'm also going to stick a stick in the soil right up against the trough there. Look at that. And I'm going to tie it too. That's going to help hold the rope up as well. You could use clamps. There's other ways of doing it, but this is going to work fine. Isn't that cool? Now that rope is going to hold my tulle in place. Yep. And we're going to keep all kinds of critters out of here. And I'm going to get my tomatoes, not the critters, not the snails, not the squirrels. It's going to belong to me. Okay, let's get that tulle up now. Now here comes the fun part, the tulle. Now keep in mind, I show you the blue, but I'm telling you they got all different colors. I use black, green, even burgundy, whatever color you want. Today I'm going to use this kind of lighter green. Now it's just a matter of clipping it on. I'm using a couple different types of clips. I found some on Walmart that work really good. You can use clothespins. Plastic ones will break, but the binder clips, the metal ones, you can get a whole package for like $1.25 at Dollar Tree. Those are perfect. And that is when I'm clipping the tool to the rope. See on the bottom? This literally will take you minutes to do. Now you want the tool to drape below the rope, because this way anything that comes from the bottom that leaps up is going to take off running. They think it's a trap. So make sure the tool is about a foot. See how it's draping down? And now I'm going to add in a couple extra stakes here with a little bit of 1/2-inch irrigation tubing. That's a little short. That was just an extra piece I had around here. I think I'm going to change that one up. But that is going to hold the tool out. It's giving me a little more space for my tomatoes to grow, and I can change it up. Irrigation tubing is another thing I use a lot of. It's literally, 10 cents a foot, if that sometimes. And look how you can design it the way you want. I kind of leaned it, I leaned it forward, so I gave more room for the plants to grow. And the clips clip onto that. Clothespins, metal binders, paper binders, they all work. Now you just bunch it up, clip it on, and you're done. Nothing's permanent here. You can change it up, you can move it around, whatever your heart desires. Is that not cool? I'm leaving the top open because I'm not worried about the birds. I want the rodents out and the snails. I'm done. It really didn't take me that long. So what did I end up using? 2 skinny tomato stakes that are quite short with the irrigation tubing that I absolutely love. I had those larger old tomato stakes I put in the back by each container, as you can see. These are just floral pots that you get from the nursery. And then I've got some flowers. I'm trying to see if I can save the forget-me-nots. I dug it up. It's a wildflower. It might make it. And then this is a pot marigold, and we'll see if that makes it. And I put that in there the other day. But look at that. Now I've got the rope going all the way around. The tape is strictly there to hold it in place so I could tie it, because it's got the hump there and it should not slide down. Plus, you saw how I put a stick in the back. You can use anything to hold up, the rope. So that worked out really well. I have it still draped down low down here. I may pull this one. Oh, no, that just has to be pulled down. Look at that. And now anything came by, it's going to touch that. So it's not even going to try to get in there. And isn't that beautiful? Now I could take that off later as the tomato plants get bigger. If nothing seems to bother it, I can even change it around and do it in a different fashion. But this is going to be fine for the next couple months as the tomato plants grow. And of course, I water right through the tool. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm hoping I'm giving you ideas, sparking thoughts in your head going, wait a minute. I don't like the way she did it, but I know how I can do it better, or I could do it for me in a different fashion that's going to work for my garden. And that is what I am here for, to give you ideas, because everybody's garden is different and everybody's got different ideas, but you want to get that little spark to make you think of different things that may work for you. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow and grow something. Bye-bye. I'm done. And I almost thought of not setting up a trough this year. Gee, maybe I will set up a second one. Oh, I think Gary took it already.